All right, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond Barley podcast, a podcast from the Idaho Barley Commission where we go deeper into the industry members, programs, and partnerships shaping the Idaho barley industry. So today's episode is a little different and a lot of fun. We're taking you behind the scenes of Idaho Craft Beer Month and the work that goes into celebrating one of the industry's most closely tied to barley, craft brewing. I'm joined here by Mindi Ridgeway, Executive Director of the Idaho Brewers United, who is right in the middle of bringing Idaho Craft Beer Month to life. From events and promotions to connecting breweries across the state, she is helping showcase the impact of Idaho-grown ingredients, especially barley and hops, through every single pint. We'll talk about what goes into planning a statewide celebration like this, how brewers collaborate, and why this month matters, not just for beer lovers, but for the entire agriculture community as well. So, Mindi, thank you so much for joining me today, especially during what I would imagine is a very busy time for you right now. So thanks for letting us catch you. All right, so we'll just roll right into it. So, Mindi, if you would take a second to introduce yourself, who you are, and what your role is with Idaho Brewers United.
Sure. Hi, Sydney. Thank you for having me. And yes, I am the Executive Director of IBU, which is our state Brewers Guild or trade association that works to promote and protect the Idaho craft beer industry.
Very nice. So what does your day-to-day look like, especially during Idaho Craft Beer Month? I know you're a busy lady, so I'm very interested to hear.
Well, I'm a part-time employee, and besides all of the boring administrative stuff, I do things like promoting breweries through various channels, as well as advocating for sound policy to benefit breweries and help them grow. So I just do more of that leading up to Craft Beer Month. But I also coordinate Pints Up, which is Idaho's official pint day, or days. We like to do it over a weekend to give breweries more flexibility. It consists of picking artwork to go on a selected glass. Then breweries can order however many cases of glassware they want, and they run their own promotion for the Pints Up weekend. People can go to their favorite brewery and get that year's commemorative glass.
That's awesome. Well, I know we've seen a couple of glasses around here.
Yes.
So how did you initially get involved with the craft beer industry?
Oh, well, I volunteered at a beer fest. And
They sucked you in from there, huh?
they did, yeah. The brewer was explaining his beer to me, and he was kind enough to answer my 10,000 questions. And that sort of sparked my interest in craft beer and the industry. And from there, I kept learning and volunteering and just inserting myself into the craft beverage space.
Well, I think it's landed you in a pretty good space in the craft brewing industry for sure. So, well, I guess can you give us a snapshot of what Idaho's craft beer industry looks like right now?
Yeah, it's challenging. I mean, like everywhere, we're struggling with rising costs, but also changing consumer tastes and fewer brewery openings. But there's still growth, especially in tap rooms that have really embraced that sense of community and being a local go-to spot.
That's really refreshing to hear because, you know, there's a lot of talk right now about, the decline of the beer industry or not as many people are drinking beer, this new generation, but it's glad to hear that there's always somewhere where growth is happening.
Yes,
So
and we've seen that before. I mean,
yeah.
Every industry goes up and it goes down. I mean, it's never just static.
Exactly. So that's good to hear. So how is the industry involved in Idaho over the past 5 to 10 years, would you say?
It's maturing. I mean, it's no longer about explosive growth and anything goes. There's always going to be loyal craft beer fans who are highly engaged. But to stick around in this competitive market, breweries have to focus on quality over quantity and really lean into that community engagement.
Well, that's good to hear. I like that you use the word maturing because, I mean, I think we definitely noticed the big beer boom, especially in the Boise area, within the past, I'd say, 15, 20 years. And so it's good to hear that it's maturing, and I'm interested to see what's in store.
Indeed.
So what makes Idaho a unique place to brew beer compared to other states?
Well, not to sound like an advertisement for you, but it really is being the top producer of barley and one of the top producers of hops. I mean, craft brewers across the country are actively seeking Idaho grain and hops, and here we are with local access to these high-quality ingredients.
Yeah, that's it. I really like to emphasize that we are the number one barley producing state in the U.S. and also in hops. I believe we're number 3 right now? Or
yes, I think we flip-flop with Oregon, and I think we just moved into 3, so we'll have to
I'm
fight
sure
back.
we'll catch back up to them
Yes.
in no time. But I mean, we really are in a unique spot, I think, in the U.S. where we're growing so much of the ingredients right in our back door and malting those ingredients as well. And
Yes.
knowing that Idaho barley and Idaho hops are going right into the very beers that we're drinking is very special.
Yes.
So getting into more of the Idaho Craft Beer Month, can you tell me, so that our viewers know, what does Idaho Craft Beer Month look like, and how can people get involved and enjoy Idaho craft beer?
You basically go to your local brewery and have some beer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Enjoy a
complicated.
pint, right?
Yeah. And if you have room in your cupboard, get a pint glass.
Get a pint glass, absolutely. That's awesome. So how does Idaho Craft Beer Month help tell the story of Idaho agriculture and not just beer?
Well, I think casual beer drinkers don't really get into the weeds of how beer is made or where the ingredients come from. So we have a promotion for beer grows here in Idaho. And when people see it, that sparks a conversation. So a lot of folks are surprised to learn that Idaho is the #1 barley producer, yet they'll know about our hop farms. It's kind of weird. And I was recently at the Craft Brewers Conference in Philadelphia, and I was giving out the Beer Grows Here stickers.
Yeah.
And I mentioned our barley and hop commissions, and several people asked, what is that? Is that a thing? And I was like, well, it is in Idaho.
That's awesome. I know we always get those stickers from you every year, and that's the first thing to come off of our tables whenever we have a booth somewhere is the Beer Grows Here in Idaho stickers, or we also have no barley, no beer stickers, and those are the first things to go. And I always tell people, grab as many as you want, put them on your coolers, put them on your bumper, I don't care.
You almost see like the light bulb go off when they see it. They're like, oh yeah.
Well, I've even been at the Capitol, I had a booth there for Idaho Agriculture Day, and I've had a lot of guests and participants come up to me and they say, well, you're missing the main product. And I said, well, if I could bring beer to the Capitol, I would, but that's not necessarily in their guidelines. So, so are there any breweries actively highlighting local ingredients during this month?
Oh, there are. I mean, pretty much every brewery tries to use local ingredients as much as possible, but they do like to highlight Idaho in April. And they make entire beers from Idaho hops and malt, and some with potatoes even.
Potatoes?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you tell me a little bit more about, I don't know that I've ever, I mean, there's potato vodka, but I would know nothing about potato beer.
There's right here in Boise, there's Bear Island Brewing, and one of their, main beers is the Idaho Potato Ale, the IPA.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And it's made with real Idaho potatoes.
Uh-huh.
And it's great. I mean, you wouldn't know. You can't taste that it's made from potatoes. It's just it's kind of a unique thing that's fun to do for Idaho. And I believe for April there was also a brewery in Hayden called Brewscape Beer Co. And I believe they made a potato, possibly a lager, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. That's so special. I mean, back again to, the production agriculture. I think it's cool that we have so many ingredients that are going into different mediums of alcohol. You have potatoes that can go into vodka, and now beer. We didn't know this. We're #1 in barley, #1 in potatoes, #3 in hops now, and then we also have a booming wine industry as well. Yes. So I feel like we're very supported on the production ag side, but also with the consumer facing side as well. That's pretty special if you ask me.
Yeah.
So what role do consumers play in driving demand for Idaho-grown barley and beer?
It's really just purchasing power. I mean, if they ask about the ingredients and they choose local, it's why you go to a farmer's market. People love to hear that the beer they're drinking directly supports their local community.
Yeah, I really appreciate those who are looking for locally made beers and from locally made ingredients. So it seems to be quite the trend these days.
Yes.
So looking ahead, where do you see the biggest opportunity for growth when it comes to Idaho barley being used in the craft beer market?
I think, like we were talking, just reminding people that we're an ag state and promoting that community aspect. Like your beer ingredients come from Idaho. So things are expensive right now. People are sticking close to home, so they want to support local and give back to their community, and that's really easy to do here.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, when people choose to support local breweries, what kind of ripple effect do you think that creates?
Oh, I think they sort of spread the word. I've noticed that in tap rooms. Like it very much is a like welcoming space, and they start talking to other people, especially if they're not local or they haven't been here that long.
Yeah.
And they learn about, you know, other places they can go to, and they find out things like that the beer they're drinking is made with potatoes, and people are just like, oh wow, like where else can I go and do things that come from Idaho? So
that's special. So personally, what keeps you motivated during this time of year with your work?
My work, just seeing what's new. I love, you know, sharing what the different breweries around the state are doing, and it's one of my favorite things in the morning. I get up and I get on Instagram and I just start sharing brewery stories on our page, because I just think it's really cool for everyone to see what, you know, the other people are doing and what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Idaho's a special place to be, and it's great to go from different tap rooms and different breweries and hearing the conversation. Like, it's definitely a local hub. Like, you can go out to like Driggs, Idaho, or even Idaho Falls or up north, and like it's just filled with local people having local conversations with a local beer.
Yeah, and especially during Pints Up, I like to deliver the Pints Up glasses to Eastern Idaho. And it's just fun to drive and drop them off, and everyone's so excited.
Yeah.
And this year I made a special trip to Lava Hot Springs because I'd never been to Eruption Brewery.
Fun.
And I took them some glasses, and it was just really fun to you know, go somewhere for the first time and just see people being excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to ask a little bit more about Idaho Brewers United. Like, what does IBU do? Maybe if you have a mission statement, anything like that, I'd be curious. I'm sure our viewers would want to know a little bit more as well.
It's really that promotion and protection of the craft beer industry. We focus our efforts on legislation to give brewers a unified voice for all of our issues, government or otherwise, which affect the regulation of our industry.
Yeah.
We also educate. So we provide opportunities for members to further their brewing knowledge or to educate the consumer about Idaho's craft beer industry. And we also do promotion to other brewers, suppliers, legislators, tourists, you know, the whole shebang.
The whole shebang. That's awesome. Well, it sounds very similar to what we do here at the commission, to focus on like research, education, promotion, market development, and so very similar to the Idaho Hops Commission as well. So it's nice to see representation on the beer side where we're representing the production agriculture side. So that's pretty awesome. That's why I really appreciate working with all three of us when we work together. And if you haven't seen or heard, on the radio, they're here locally in the Boise area, there is a radio ad going on right now for Idaho Craft Beer Month, since it is April. And that is from Idaho Barley Commission, Idaho hop growers, and we work to just promote the hop and barley industry and also the beer industry as well. So we love doing that commercial every single year.
Yeah,
so
it's a good one.
All right. So if you could change one thing to better connect brewers and barley growers, what would it be?
Well, I don't know about change, but maybe, you know, implementing like a field to glass initiative where a brewery can secure specific grain varieties directly from farmers and then kind of promote that traceability.
Yeah.
It just seems like it might be fun.
Absolutely. Well, and I think a lot of people are looking towards traceability. Like, how cool would it be to scan a QR code on a can of beer and know exactly, you know, what field it came from or what grower it came from? That would be pretty cool. So, what does success look like for you at the end of this month, Idaho Craft Beer Month?
Just knowing that people not only had fun, but that we got the word out about, you know, supporting your local brewery and your local farmers, and
yeah, absolutely,
and just being able to see that people had a good time, and sort of, like I said, that light bulb went off and they were like, oh, hey, all of this is right here.
Yeah, all the connections are being made, and it's really fun to, I don't know, go up to people whenever we're out somewhere, and I'm like, oh, did you know, like, Idaho's the #1 producer of barley? And they're like, what? No way, I had no idea. Or sometimes they don't even know what barley is. And so I said, well, it goes into beer. Then not only just beer, but there are many different uses of barley. But it is fun to see the light bulb go off on people's faces, because most of them know what hops are, but not necessarily barley.
Exactly.
So, well, Mindi, I do have to ask you, what is your favorite beer? I'm not going to ask you what's your favorite brewery, because that's probably not fair. But I would just I'd love to know what your favorite beer is.
Oh, I am a dark. I love a bourbon barrel-aged stout.
Oh,
that is always my go-to.
That sounds like dessert, honestly.
Yes, and it's really heavy. So on those days when I'm not feeling that, probably just maybe a nice Pilsner. But yeah, it may not be the full glass of a stout either. It might just be a taste.
God, I feel like it's as heavy as a milkshake
Yeah,
almost.
but if I see one, I'm just like, I at least have to try that.
I at least have to try it. Well, that's why you can always get a sample, right?
Exactly.
So what other events and promotions should we look forward to from Idaho Brewers United? Or anything that you guys partner on or promote?
Oh, yeah. Well, we do a partnership up north in Coeur d'Alene in the summer for a brew fest, and so we're kind of working out the details on that, but look for something in July.
July,
should be pretty exciting. And then in the fall we used to do a beer summit, like a local conference, and it just sort of fell by the wayside for a couple years, so I'm bringing that back. So that'll be first week in November. I would like to have it be a different location every year, but for this first year, just to make my life easier, it will be in Boise.
Oh, well, yeah, make it a little bit easier on yourself.
And I know we always have our destination beer event in McCall in February, and next year will actually be the 10-year anniversary of Destination Beer. So I think it's going to be a really fun one.
That is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
What goes into Destination Beer?
It's always been an outdoor event in a tent, in the winter in McCall, and I don't know if it'll stay that way. It might have to change it up a little at this 10-year mark.
Yeah.
But it's always a favorite. People get to go to McCall and support the whole local community there and drink beer. And it's just Idaho beer, so it's all just local people.
Yeah.
Which is great, from all over the state, which is nice.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So people just travel from all over just to go there. That's
Northeast, even Boise.
Even Boise.
Imagine.
That's awesome. Well, Mindi, one final question. So when you think about the future of Idaho craft beer and agriculture working together, what does raising the bar look like to you?
Oh, I'd say it looks like open communication and collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, as much as we can support you guys, I mean, if the beer's not selling, the barley's probably not selling either.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, Mindi, thank you so much for sharing your perspective and giving us a deeper look into how closely connected Idaho's craft beer industry is to the barley grown right here in this state. So, and thank you to our listeners for joining us on Beyond Barley. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow along for more conversations that connect the field to the final product. And as you're out celebrating Idaho Craft Beer Month, it's not too late. Take a moment to think about Idaho barley behind every pint. Cheers, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.